Jabba from Gracia. This is the Rorschach, Georgia update from the 6th of June, 2024. Quick summary of what's going down in Georgia. Tuesday the 4th, For Georgia Party, or Gacharia Sakartvelostvis, said that it would not sign the Georgian Charter introduced by President Zurabashvili, which aims to repeal harmful laws like the Russian law, reform the justice system, improve elections, and protect the country's European integration. The party supports some reforms, but opposes holding early elections and forming a temporary or technical government. There are fears that the ruling party, the Georgian Dream, or Otsneba, might manipulate votes in the next election, especially after implementing the Russian law, which could block NGOs from protecting the voting process. The goal is to ensure the integrity of the 26th of October national elections and protect Georgian citizens' votes from any potential manipulation or fraud. However, Wednesday the 5th, 17 political parties and 5 independent deputies signed the Georgian Charter at the Orbeliani Palace. A Georgian student in Vilnius, Lithuania, named Leluch Morchadze, who studies front-end web development, created a web app called Guess the Traitor that has pictures of the 84 members of parliament and their names, those who voted to override the veto of the Russian law. You look at the pictures, learn their names, and then have to write them down. You lose a life for each mistake. You get 5 lives. This will be a big help in socially isolating these individuals who have done so much to isolate Georgia internationally and to make it a Russian colony once again, which seems to be their goal. Speaking of the president, on Tuesday, the 4th, Zurabashvili criticized the government's decision to bring in the Chinese consortium to develop the Anaklia port, saying it harms relations with the U.S. and European partners. As we reported last week, she said that the focus on the Russian law has diverted attention from other very important government decisions. She pointed out issues with the offshore law designed at getting Russian capital avoiding sanctions in Georgia, changes to the election code, which are quite dangerous, and as we've reported, and preparation of a controversial pension fund law, stressing the lack of transparency in these decisions. On Wednesday the 5th, Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze accused certain political figures, like former officials and opposition leaders, of threatening a Maidan-style uprising against Georgia. Kobakhidze, sounding exactly like the government of Iran and Russia, Kobakhidze said these politicians let parts of Ukraine and Georgia fall under Russian control and now blame Georgia instead of taking responsibility. Not as if he takes responsibility for his haircut. During a U.S. Congress hearing on Tuesday the 4th, Bill Courtney, former U.S. ambassador to Georgia, compared the paths of Ukraine and Georgia towards the EU. He said both countries had revolutions because of rigged elections and leaders wanting to revert to the past. On Wednesday the 5th, Michael Roth, chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee of Germany's parliament, warned that the Russian-style law on LGBTI rights is another serious threat to Georgia's EU ambitions. He criticized Otsneba for targeting sexual minorities after the Russian law. The party is proposing laws to regulate marriage, adoption, sex change procedures, and gatherings of sexual minorities. These laws will also restrict broadcasters from promoting gender diversity in same-sex relationships. Roth urged Otsneba to stop these initiatives. On Friday, the 31st of May, the National Statistics Service reported that the country's exports in the 2024 January-March period totaled around $1.3 billion, a 9% drop compared to the previous year on year. Russia was Georgia's number 1 trading partner, followed by Turkey and China, second and third, all 3 accounting for 72% of the total domestic export. Leading exports items included wine, ferroalloys, and precious metal ores and concentrates. On that note about the economy, here's an update on online shopping. A report by Galton Taggart published on Monday the 3rd shows Georgia's fast-growing online shopping market since COVID-19, jumping from 11% in 2018 to 23% in 2020. The report predicts a 52% annual growth rate by 2025. Electronics and household appliances lead the market, followed closely by clothing and accessories. According to some Georgian students, online shopping offers more variety and convenience compared to in-person shopping. In more economic news, on Monday the 3rd, the National Bank of Georgia announced new consumer protection rules starting from the 1st of July. Consumers can cancel remotely concluded contracts and loans up to 1 million lari, which is about $370,000 within 14 days of signing. Financial organizations must now inform customers verbally about important contract terms before providing financial products. On Thursday, the 6th of June, the Council of Europe reported that Georgia ranks second in Europe for its prison population, with 237 inmates per 100,000 people, just behind Turkey. The survey shows a rise of 8% in Georgia's prison population compared to the previous year. Factors like harsh penalties and limited alternatives to prison contribute to the high incarceration rates. On Thursday, the 30th of May, Sabuco, a bird life partner, started the Kakheti Steppes project in Georgia's Kakheti region to protect biodiversity and conserve local bird species. Sabuco collaborates with local farmers to restore wildlife habitats and has implemented methods like mob grazing, e-fences, and targeted restoration measures. Since we mentioned Kakheti, on Tuesday the 4th, Georgia National Tourism Administration organized a press tour in Vashlovani in Kakheti region to promote domestic tourism in protected areas. For 3 days, Georgian media representatives, including journalists, photographers, and cameramen, have explored Vashlovani's protected areas. They will take photos of the local wildlife and study tourism routes, hiking trails, picnic spots, and camping areas. On Thursday, the 30th of May, Ushguli, the highest village in Svaneti, celebrated its resilience and rich heritage. Known as Fearless Heart or Ushishari Guli, Ushguli recently marked the anniversary of the 1987 avalanche that nearly led to the village's evacuation. The then mayor, Anzo Ratiani, encouraged the villagers to stay. The village is also home to the La Maria Monastery and Mount Shkhara, Georgia's highest mountain. It hosts the house gallery of the late surrealist artist Pridon Nijaradze, now maintained by his brother Temuraz, who is also becoming an artist. Speaking of art galleries, on Thursday, the 30th of May, the Gori Stalin Museum made headlines by sharing new content on social media, sparking discussions about Georgia's Soviet past. The museum continues to glorify Stalin with Soviet artifacts and little mention of his repressions. This museum has remained unchanged since its last update in 1979. Still on art, on Thursday, the 30th of May, the Ria Keburia Foundation announced its support for Georgian artists. The foundation helps artists through a residency program in Kachreti by holding closed auctions 4 times a year. They also have an online platform, Ria Bid, which connects Georgian artists with a wider audience. Currently, Salome Devadze's solo exhibition, Heads, 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 is on display at the foundation's gallery. It's open till the end of July. Other cultural events on Thursday, the 30th, Tbilisi Piano Festival 2024 kicked off with a performance by pianist Marc-André Hamelin at the Tbilisi State Conservatory. Hamelin's concert featured pieces from the 19th and 20th centuries like Ravel's Gaspard de la Nuit. The festival celebrates piano music by providing a platform for established and emerging musicians to perform in Tbilisi. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. We've prepared a very short survey so you can help us improve the show and make it even better. Find the link in the show notes. Go to the episode's description to find the link. It won't take you more than 2 minutes. Fill the survey out. Your feedback will help us keep the updates coming your way. Thank you. Nachmanis.